I made him a man who had very little experience of life through experience and only through reading, and who tried to use whatever limited imagination he had to understand reality in life. But it's very hard to learn about life from books because it's so complex, so full of contradictions, and it's very hard to reduce to intelligent sentences. Life. That's why we have art. And that's why we have films like Lars. And Lars's films are like all films. They're not best when they're pinpointing something or telling you something very concrete. They're at their best when they're ambiguous and open and strange. Well, he's nice to her. She feels safe, and if you want to hear somebody tell about their lives, they should feel safe and they should feel that you're interested in them. But I don't think it's calculated that much from his side, because I think he's not socially skilled or really good at manipulating people because of his, as I said before, lack of real life experience. But he's also a crucial instrument for the digressions in the film, because he takes off talking about fly fishing or how icons are made or stuff like that. So he's responsible for fucking up her story as well. But she gets it out. It's the form of the film that it is basically two people sitting in a room for 5 hours talking, but with flashes of backflashes and cuts of other locations as well, and mixed up with Lars's very humoristic way of making his own comments visually on everything. But it's a form that you usually don't see, and that they probably wouldn't recommend at film school. No, first of all, I love him. We're very good friends. We have a lot of fun when we're working, and it doesn't feel like work to me, because it feels like you start playing with the material and see what can be in it. And you have no responsibility as an actor. You don't have to come and deliver something specific, because the process of shooting with Lars is the process of discovering, which is very nice. And then it's fun to humiliate him and get humiliated by him, and sort of the tone between us is very nice. But basically, I just love being with him. I worked with him with his first feature film after he gave up total control. His first 5 feature films was total control. He designed every movement of the actors and everything, and they were technically brilliant, and he and of course dead. When I saw his first film, Element of Crime, in a festival, I said, I'd like to work with this director when he gets interested in people. And it took him some years, but then he realized it himself, and with The Kingdom, he sort of broke up this total control thing and realized that he could actually get real life on the screen if you let the actors go. And when we did Breaking the Waves, which was a very thought out script, I called it the Raiders of the Lost Ark in terms of melodrama, because every scene was like the peak scene in a melodramatic film. If he hadn't let the actors be more free and create more life, you would have felt the structure of it, and then it wouldn't have worked as well. And he spent all those years taking away his own tools. The Dogma Manifesto, it's all about, it's a very personal thing. It's not a manifesto, this is the way films should be made. It's about him taking away his own tools and reducing everything to, eventually it gets down to all the way to Dogville, which is just a text, an actor, and fucking shoot it. And that's what he did. And when we did Dogville, you see that this story in itself is so strong that it actually works, and then you have actors that bring life to it, and that are not trying to do great performances just to bring life to it, and then you photograph it, and it works. So he has been reducing his tools throughout the years, and then lately he has started using his knowledge again of sort of more traditional filmmaking, and made a beautiful film like Melancholia. And on this film we didn't even have handheld camera, we had tripod and tracking, which was very exotic. So he's constantly moving around in his ways of working as well, to find not only the ultimate way to work for each story, but also to develop his own means. And after having given up all his tools, and he's still in control, of course, because he's doing the editing. But after giving away his tools for many years, he's now bringing them back in. But now without constraining the actors, which is great. Well, they're all different, aren't they? They are so different in style and in. What they all have in common is that they have Lars's writing is in the bottom, and that is how you recognize a Lars film. The dialogue is always like, it's a bit like child talk in a way. He writes. Well, I told him once that when I read your scripts, I think of a highly intelligent but slightly perverted little child that is sitting with a doll's house and snipping the heads of the dolls. And he said yes, and you have that feeling because that's why it's so hard to improvise in his films. He wants you to improvise, but you can't improvise that kind of dialogue because there's a naivete to it. It's a fairy tale tone to it usually, that has a certain quality. So all his films have that tone that is not realistic. Then they are in style very different from. You could say that Melancholia is one of the more romantic films he's made. You could say that The Idiots is one of the rawer films he's made. You could say that this film is everything that he come up with in his mind. It's like he's painted a canvas with his brain. Whatever association he has and ideas he has, he just threw in there. It's an interesting journey. First of all, what you feel when you see it is not pornographic. It's human behavior with body parts that you usually don't see exposed. And it becomes not sexy, it becomes normal behavior. And that is an interesting effect of it, which is very good. The art, it's not artsy-fartsy, but of course the entire film is on, and the universe of the film is elevated to an art level because it's not our everyday world that we see and the everyday characters we see. But it shouldn't be strange to see a dick enter a cunt on film than it is to see a spoon enter a mouth with porridge on. It's a Lars fantasy about a woman with nymphomania, and it's, as always, a story. It's fiction, but it's based in in human reality. But I also think it's Lars's frustration with a world where there are too many taboos, and where there's too little tolerance in terms of accepting people's deviations in sexual behavior or whatever. My personal idea is If two people enjoy it, then it's fine, whatever they do. As long as nobody is sort of forced into something that they do not appreciate. We should be very careful in designing other people's sex life. To me, the sexuality of the film is not controversial at all, but I bet it is in Kabul or Salt Lake City. So it depends on who you are. To me, nudity and sexuality is just some body functions. I don't have the curse of religion that sort of bans certain body parts.